a Pete Primeau fan?
Thank you for having me.
Your fans are like...
What an honor to be here, Pete. You're a legend. You're a rock star.
I'm a legend in my own mind, said my wife.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I'm Mr. Selling from the Heart. What's this guy, Larry Levine, going to teach me about selling from the heart?
You are one of the most generous and authentic people around, and I think that's why you and your show are so attractive to people.
Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. It is episode, I don't even know, 244, 245. My wonderful producer is using cue cards now. It's 245, guys, and different gear, still speeding with Chris Taheny. We'll get to him in just a second. Right now, I've got to pay the bills. If you haven't bought my book, Sell a Million, what are you doing? Hurry up, buy this book, start implementing. The best compliment I ever got. Hey, let's go, baby. That has to be RJ. RJ from Jacksonville, Bedden. Thank you very much. Guys, the best compliment I ever got on my book was from our friend Doug Stewart. And Doug said, take the word mattress, take the word furniture out of the book. It's just a great marketing and a great business book. So, thank you, Tara. It's going to be a great show. Happy Monday. It's always a great show when Chris Taheny is with us. And if you guys want a sales book, I've got a sales book for you. Miles and miles of retail selling greatness. This is over 43 years of my blood, sweat, and tears. 10 more authors contributed to it. And our friend Chris Taheny contributed 2, not 1, 2 chapters in this book. And that's what makes this book special. We've got great authors from Scott Vaughn to Jeff Giannakovo. You name it, they're in this book. So, guys, if you want 3 years worth of sales meetings, 3 years worth of sales meetings, this book for $20 is probably the best deal you'll ever going to get. So, guys, got to pay the bills one more time. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Steve, for sponsoring the Pete Primeau Show. If you want to learn how to build, market, sell, and succeed, go to the Mattress Industry Network group. It's a free Facebook group. I believe over 2,500, maybe even 2,600 strong by now. If you want to learn how to build, market, sell, and succeed in the mattress industry, this is the place to be. Everybody's in here, from store owners to RSAs to VPs of sales to sales reps to owners of manufacturers. It's a great group. Join the group now, and I try to get in the group a couple times a week. So say hi to me when you join and you get in the group. Without a further ado, welcome to the show, Chris. How are you?
Morning, Pete. It's a fine Arkansas morning. Thanks a lot for having me on, as usual. I always love coming on the Pete Primeau Show. You're a consummate host. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much. Hey, Andrew. Happy Monday to you, sir. It's my pleasure to actually have you on the show, Chris. So we're episode 245, and you've got this title, Different Gear, Still Speeding. I have no idea what it means. Coach me up. I'm an old dinosaur.
Sure. So I'm normally the kind of guy that, like, when you're pressing him, I struggle to come up with certain things. And when you and I were discussing a title, I was having a hard time with it. And then all of a sudden an idea just comes out, just pops into my brain. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's it. Okay. Reason why I chose this title is because for anybody that doesn't know me, I'm a big Oasis fan. It's arguably my favorite band. And everybody that was an Oasis fan was kind of sad when they broke up several years ago. But for me, I was like, this is great. This is going to be like having two Oasises. It's going to be double the music. And Liam Gallagher, who is known for his swagger and his confidence and always reinventing himself as the times changed, his first band that he formed was called BDI, and the name of his first album was Different Gear, Still Speeding. And I think what he's saying is this was his way of saying, you know what, I'm operating in a different situation now. I've got a new band, I've got a new setup. And maybe perhaps even a new creative direction that he had with Oasis. But in the end of the day, it's still Liam Gallagher. He changed gears like you would change gears in a car, but he's not going to stop moving forward. In fact, he's going to be more persistent, and he's still going to be speeding. And he hasn't slowed down. He's still got the energy, the attitude, the swagger, all the things that he's known for. So putting it all together, it's like I'm doing things differently, but I'm still going to go full throttle. And how this might correlate into the mattress business, it's kind of like saying to your customer, we've updated our strategy. We might have changed how we used to operate in the past, but we're still going to hustle just as hard for you. In fact, you can kind of hustle even harder. Hence, different gear, still speeding.
Awesome. So, Chris, if you were coaching somebody right now, you know, a dealer walks up to you and says, hey, man, I need your help. You know, 2025 has not been as robust as I hoped it would be. What are you seeing out there, Chris? Like, you know, give me some direction. What would you say to him or her?
I've seen a little bit of it. I'll probably allude to this a couple times in the program, but although I'm seeing a little bit more of it, it flashes at least here and there, I still think that there's a tremendous opportunity for the grassroots level in our business to recognize that in the end of the day, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Okay. We're here to take care of people. We're here to change lives for the better, but at the same time, there is a sales element to what we do. And when it comes to it, perceiving it as a sales job, what are some of the things that I can do in order to help my own cause? And I think that some of the things that I'm seeing some of the success I'm seeing is those that realize, okay, you know what, right now it's not happening for me. And I know I'm going in a quarter four, and it tends to be a softer quarter. And I'm just not going to I'm not going to segue into that. What can I do in order to build my own book of business? And I've got a couple of ideas that I'd like to share as the program goes on.
You going to make me ask you again, or will you voluntarily bring it out?
Well, you know, I don't want to, I mean, okay, let's get right into it. So last week, I probably spent about 12, 13 hours in a car. I've got my YouTube app that just steadily just plays videos, and it's kind of like unconscious to me because my mind is thinking, and I've got that compulsive mind of how do I take better care of my customer today, tomorrow, and in the future? What are my lowest hanging fruit opportunities to help a customer that could really use it? Where are my vulnerabilities? How susceptible am I to competitors that are probably doing the same thing that I'm doing? And on comes a video from a channel called Arsenal Fan TV. It has nothing to do with the mattress business whatsoever. It's Arsenal is a soccer club in England, and it was a fan channel. And they're interviewing a fan, and what he said stuck out to me. And he said, it's bad enough that you're taking on a formidable opponent. In this case, I think it was Manchester City, one of the best teams in the world. So it's hard enough that you have to do that, but then you also have to play against your own team. Meaning you're playing against one of the top teams in the world, and then also you're playing against your own teammates that are not pulling their weight. So if we're going to equate that into our business, when when you have when you have teammates that might not necessarily be doing what they need to do to create that community perception of the business with each individual customer that they have, or they're not taking their message actively and proactively to the community, but others are, you're competing against your own team. And maybe there's 10 people on your team and 5 people are trying to take that message to their community while the other 5 aren't, because for whatever reason, they're not finding their own inner motivation, or they're just not recognizing inspirational opportunities. You're now competing against not only your competition down the street or across town, you're potentially also competing against the hamstringing that is happening in your own business.
So you see this in our business?
I do see this in our business. Absolutely.
I say with a straight face.
Mhm.
So how do you normally see that present itself?
Well, you know who's enthusiastic and who isn't. So, for example, as a product rep for going on a decade and a half, those that they have the customer at front and center of their heart. They want to do everything they can to change lives for the better. You see that in the way that they conduct themselves. They're excited to not only tell you about a recent sale that they had. Might not necessarily be because it was a $10,000 plus ticket, or they added multiple sleep essentials. It could have been something to the extent of, and I just got a card in the mail today where the customer says that they think it's because of the way I helped them. They're actually going to be adding years to their life because they are feeling better than they ever have. The vitals that they're getting from their doctors are better than they've had in years. And that's what I mean, that there's a tremendous opportunity going into Q4 to recognize that these are the things that are possible. And Q4 might not necessarily be your most profitable quarter. You might not ever see, certain tactics and efforts that can be made show up on the cash register on your balance sheet. But ultimately, these are the things that you can do in Q4 that inevitably you'll see as you go into 2026, 2027, 2028 that might not be occurring in this business. I think there's a tremendous upside for that to happen.
So, Chris, I want to throw a couple things at you. Well, let me do one at a time. I love the fact that when we were together at a previous company, you started to use that term sleep essentials, because I believe it's essential. It's essential for the consumer to fully realize all the benefits that there are to be had when they're purchasing their new mattress. And it's essential for the retailer to really maximize their profit. But more importantly, in the world that we live in, you have to get 3 things from every customer. And it's not just a receipt in the hand. That's the first thing, but 3 other things. I need a referral. I need an online 5-star review if possible. And I need a testimonial. Those are the 3 things I need to get after I get that sale delivered. And if I don't get those, over time, the brand of my retail store will start to deteriorate. So those are the things that I have to get. When I don't do a good job securing the sleep essentials, my company suffers and I suffer. And there's no reason for it in today's world. There's lots of ways to get there. It's nothing new anymore. It's not like 30 or 40 years ago when, people used to literally leave a sleep shop and they would go and they would buy new pillows, new sheets, and protectors, at a department store. That's what would happen because they weren't offered in sleep shops, and they are today, and everybody has access to it. So I love what you've done to elevate the game of sleep essentials and how important it really is to our business. A customer who is happier, who's sleeping better, getting a more restorative sleep, and who's performing better at work, who's a better mother, father, daughter, sister, baker, whatever they do in their life, they're more likely to give us a 5-star online review. They're more likely to give us a testimonial. They're more likely to give us a referral. And as I said before, they have to have it. So without repeating that again, what say you, sir?
So yeah, and that's where, you know, now that I'm at Cariloha, I'm really looking forward to, you know, playing a contribution. I think that our industry at large, everybody can play significant contributions, and inevitably just have this have these subjects, this component of this element of our business become not even debatable, not even like we could use more training on it, or sometimes we kind of put it on the back burner, or I could do a little bit better. It's just not something that I put a lot of attention to. Paradigm shifting, I know, is very difficult to do, but it just needs to happen. And not only that, but also, not to use a sports analogy, but everybody, can still Michael Jordan in pretty much everything. In fact, I think I mentioned Michael Jordan in your book. I think Bannerman mentioned Michael Jordan in your book. But what was Michael Jordan the best of all time at? He was the best of all time at creating his own shots. Michael Jordan never needed anybody to deliver the perfect pass to him, so he can get easy dunks or layups. They never had to run him through 2 or 3 screens to get him open looks like Reggie Miller had to have happen for him. He created his own shots, and the possibilities and ideas are endless. Like I said earlier on, if you ask me point blank, hey, what do you think I could do? I might struggle at coming up with quick ideas, but here's a couple. Maybe, and just over the last probably last several years, I've had repeat people approach me to say, you know what, I know you told me this before, Chris, but I completely forgot about it. Can you remind me again? Where did you become a certified sleep science coach, and how do I go about doing that? I've had some reach out about 3 or 4 times asking that same question. Okay. Just get it done. I can tell you from experience, it significantly increased my confidence. It put me in a position where I was speaking from authority, and it really just helps me offer more dynamic services, not only to my customers, but for the store manager that does the same. They're able to help their clients in more dynamic ways, sustain a sustainable relationship over the course of time, and tell everybody about it. A couple of, I think last weekend, I went for a night on the town. I chose, I'm going to wear the t-shirt that my local sleep shop and customer just gave me one day. He just said, hey, you need a t-shirt? Here's a t-shirt for you to do some yard work in. Well, I wore it on my Friday night out the other weekend, and I had at least 5 people approach me about it. I need a good night's sleep, or I need a new mattress. Are they a good store? Do you know those guys up there? That's where I bought my bed. Those guys were fantastic. They took really good care of me. This is something that's very, very easy to do. Being a certified sleep science coach, this is what I wore to masterclass, Wingo Coaching Masterclass. On the back, I put certified sleep coach. I could put that on there because I am indeed a certified sleep science coach. And I want to be excited about that and be enthused about that, because I know that can give me an edge. And if I wear that through an airport, Pete, I got 5 or 6 people asking me about it. Oh, what does that mean exactly? Are you a doctor? Are you a scientist? And then a conversation goes from there. This is something anybody in our business can do. And it could all be done. Sell a $1,500 mattress at a 55 margin, and that covers your costs, and then the rest is gravy. So there's one example. Yeah. Another example, got to show you this. I can't wait for this to be done, but my 12-year-old daughter printed this on her 3D printer. She shouldn't be a South Park fan because she's still a little bit too young for that, but she just loves the characters. So this is a knife holder that she printed on a 3D printer. Okay. Well, what can a retailer do with a 3D printer? Maybe they could print keychains that they can then affix to some of the products in their store. Maybe they can make holiday ornaments with their brand on it, put the names of their customers and the year that they bought the bed. So every time they do their Christmas tree every year, they're going to get that reminder. Every subsequent year after that, it's all about touching our customers as often as we possibly can in the most creative ways we possibly can. And I've got other ones, but you're the host here, so I'm gonna clam up a little bit. Sorry, let's get in here, Pete. What do you think about what I'm saying?
I love what you're saying. So where did you actually get your certification?
So it's an organization called Spencer Institute. I think that they're generally pretty good about giving coupon codes. But even when they don't, I think the entire curriculum is about $479, and you don't need to pay it all up front. You could do, I think, $79 a month. It's about 20 to 25 hours of study. It's something that if you got your heart in the right place, your owner or manager would probably permit time and flexibility on idle time to complete the program. It's certainly a lot better than watching YouTube videos. In fact, I'm a little bit unprepared on the statistic, but I actually, and I'll share this probably in our fraternity, that even if you're watching YouTube only a couple of hours a day, even just waiting for the commercials to play out or hitting the skip button on the commercials, if you add that up throughout the entire course of a week, I think it adds up to something ridiculous, like 3 hours or something like that. I'd have to look it up. But what else can be done in those 3 hours? What other developmental time can you be getting in? What ideas can you come up with? I shared another idea where my local preferred pizza restaurant, they paint pictures of pizza slices on rocks and they hide them throughout the community. And they take pictures to give you a clue, not far enough to where it's obvious where to find it. But everybody in the community goes nuts for that idea. The following on their page is tremendous for the business that they have, and the engagement is off the charts. Sometimes I'll go on the Facebook page of a 10 to 15 to 20 store chain, and they have nowhere near the engagements. And the posts are pretty routine. They're uncreative. If I'm a mattress store, I'm looking at these metrics and I'm like, something, that's an idea that's worth stealing. I'm going to find myself a 12-year-old kid and I'm going to get some rocks and I'm going to have pillows painted on them. And I'm just going to try it and see what happens. And if it bolsters a little bit more excitement, top of mindedness, creates a little bit more excitement in my community, particularly a community where there's a lot of, maybe the morale is not as high in some communities. Maybe it's a little bit more of an economically depressed area, things of that nature. Something like this kind of just excites people. And this, it doesn't cost much money or effort at all. Maybe it's something that you could do on your way to the office one day. I want to hide a couple of rocks and just see what happens.
Boom. Janakovo's taking notes. Of all the people that don't need to be watching this show right now, of all the people, the one who probably knows the best is the one who's going to grab this idea and run with it. Thanks, Jeff. Jeff Janakovo says, stop. So here's the joke, Chris, and the inside joke. Squirrel, right? Whatever he puts on the screen, whatever Chris puts on the screen, I'm going to read it. So Jeff Janakovo says, love the hide a thing on rocks idea. Boom, using that one. That's what I say. All the great ones are always inspired. They're looking for one thing. They're not watching the Pete Primeau show to get 10 things. They want one thing that could change my business. And Chad Fisher said, agreed, dare to be different and do different things. Did Chad have another one? Chris, will you teach Chad to be a sleep coach? Chad Chad, I love you. You're the best. Hey, Brent.
Thanks, Chad.
Brent Batterman, the man, the myth, the legend, soon to be a professional speaker. Hello, Pete and Chris. Hello back at you, Brent Batterman. In that case, Ohio State stinks. Au contraire, I think Penn State stinks, and I have some film to prove it. Oh, we're having too much fun now. Kristen says, agree, such a great idea. And that reminds me. So here is the 800-pound gorilla in the room. We've got to talk about this. So, you're at another company. Kristen's where she's at. You two are like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier going round and round. And now it's the scariest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. You're both on the same team. I'm like, oh my Lord, what are these two going to come up with? Such an all-star team over at your new place, brother.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad that Sugar is here. She's been a phenomenal teammate of mine. And I'm glad to have seen things come full circle. A lot of people don't know I almost worked with her several years ago, and she actually talked me out of working with her at the time. It's actually a pretty good story that I'm proud to tell, but now I can't be more proud to work with her today. And I'm excited about our future and how we're going to help our customers.
Royal Bateman says 2 kingpins. Yep, that's what I say too, Royal. I'm with you,
What's
brother.
up, Royal?
David Grange, love this. And I also believe we don't sell mattresses. We sell sleep equals sleep system inside, outside, and around. Listen, ABD solution cell. I don't know.
With David's visit here, I get to tell my daughter, I said, our show went international today.
Our show is an international phenom.
Good to see you, Dave.
All the way up to Canada. And speaking of phenoms, look at this. We have the one and only Gordon Heck. Happy Monday, Pete and Chris. I'm rocking it today after sleeping in my Cariloha sheets and planning on sporting my Cariloha socks tomorrow. That's just too much goodness. You're going to be floating on air, brother. And Kristen says, so happy it came full circle.
So am I, my friend.
I always say do the right thing all the time, and it always comes back the right way. And it's funny how sometimes things aren't exactly the right way at one point in time, but a year later they are. They're ideal. And always doing the right thing for everybody involved is the way to ensure that when it is the right time, everybody's full steam ahead. So, Chris, while we're at it, let's pull up Tara Day's comment. I did not read it, and I absolutely love Tara.
Hey, Tara.
It's going to be a great show. Happy Monday. Maybe I did read it. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Tara, have a happy Monday too, and sell a million. So we got Muhammad Ali and we got Joe Frazier, and we got Jeff Janakovo now.
And we got more banter from Jeff Janakovo.
Ha 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 ha. Just since you said it, you read it, and Chris Stone would be in as he is a Michigan fan. Oh, Jeff, what am I going to do with you? You sound so mean, and I know you're not. So you're, truth be known, you're just a big, lovable fluff ball. That's it. So, Chris, what's it like when you two, Kristen and Chris, get in a room? Like, is the energy just like nuts? Is it like you got to open windows and doors because it like can't contain that much energy? Like, it's got to be crazy.
It's building. It's building. I mean, there are some, mind you, I've only been there for 2 weeks now. But it wasn't like I came in with zero knowledge. Cariloha was a very formidable opponent to me in the past. So I had to understand their program as well as I possibly could. There's always that little bit of an element when you're looking at your competitors, and I encourage everybody to look at it in this regard. If that were my business, what are they doing great, and what are some of the things that I would do if I were there. And it is an exciting environment only because of the more elaborate and dynamic ways that we're going to be able to help dealers, not only today, but also in the future. The organization itself, Cariloha, is got a phenomenal story. Thanks for sharing it on the screen now. That slogan that you're seeing right there, softest bedding on the planet, something as simple but yet direct and to the point. This is something that our retailers have in their store when they're a Cariloha partner. Cariloha has been a successful organization. Even before their entry into the mattress retail business, they developed a fan base and a following. And what we seek to do essentially is make our fans your customers for any dealers that are watching. And it goes above and beyond sleep necessities. And the elements that we could help retailers with could absolutely be tied to sleep, even though they might not necessarily be sleep products. And that's very exciting to us. So to leverage a little bit about what Gordon was saying that he slept on his Cariloha sheets, and later on he was going to wear his Cariloha socks. And we hope that you enjoy them, Gordon. Thank you for your support. Last night, when I was getting ready for bed, it occurred to me that, as soon as I shut off the faucet, what was the first thing that I did was I grabbed my Cariloha towel. Okay, which I used even before I even before I even came to this organization. Okay, I got my Cariloha robe, which is a demonstration. I'm not actually wearing it. Okay, so I go from the towel to the robe. I'm stepping on my bath mat. Okay, and then when I make it into the bedroom, I'm sleeping on sheets, softest bedding on the planet. Got a pillow, all leveraging a bamboo story. It's not cliche. It's not a flash in the pan. Natural bedding is it's not a passing fad or just a momentary craze. It's just simply what works. I go to sleep and I wake up. I promise there's a point to this. After I've woken up, I've got sleep. Not only do I have sleepwear, but I also have activewear that'll take me into my day. So when Gordon puts on his socks, that's exactly what we're referring to. So we could tie this all amongst the importance of sleep. We're going to be able to help our retailers build additional value in sleep components, so they don't have to necessarily depend on, well, I'm going to do a BOGO on this, or I'm going to throw in that, and I'm going to basically just devalue the importance of sleep and all the components that make up that ecosystem, that environment that the customer needs 4 months every year of their life. Okay, we could parlay this into other areas, and that's something that's really, really exciting for me, to answer your question in a very long form. But hopefully you glean my excitement. This is a special line, and I've always known it, and to represent it is kind of surreal in a way. We're going to help a lot of retailers.
So I have to tell you a funny story. I was pressing you the other day, hey, I got to get this stuff into Chris Stone, my producer. And so I grabbed the Cariloha website from my trusty phone. Do you know how many Cariloha commercials I have seen since then?
Quite a few, because I see them too.
No less than 50 or 60. I am like, did you and Kristen team up and say, hey, listen, I think Pete got on our website and we're just going to go crazy. And every time he turns on YouTube, we're going to hit him, because it is unmerciful. And that's a compliment to you. All right. I have to read some comments. Let's go back to Becky, my friend Becky. Becky is in Somerset, Kentucky, and she works for our friends Chris and Kylie. Hi there, Pete and Chris. Hello, Becky.
Hi, Becky. I'm sorry to have missed you last week, but I hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here.
Ian, thank you for saying the best towels in the biz. And our friend John from Canada, another international. Love it.
Yeah.
Great idea with the 3D printer. So this is a cat right here. Anybody that doesn't know John, follow him and just watch the creativity. John is special. He really is. Love it. Great idea with the 3D printer. I was trying to think of a different way to display our adjustable bed remotes. Thanks for the inspiration. And that's what this is all about, guys and gals. Christian Sugar says, love it. We are good. I say that's an understatement. So here's the thing, Chris. You know, you've only been at this company for 2 weeks. I have not seen so much excitement about somebody moving to a company as what I've seen here. So I just want to publicly tell you, congratulations on staying relevant. Congratulations on creating goodwill in the industry and always delivering value. And that's why, I looked at some preliminary numbers, and I'm not a numbers guy when it comes to this and what I do. And with this show, this is my long love letter to say goodbye to the industry that I love. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, unless the good Lord hits me with a car or something, but that's up to him. It's not up to me. I'm looking both ways before I cross the street. But congratulations on doing, always putting your customer first. I'll never forget, me and you had the opportunity for a top 100. They were in our showroom. We had a situation where we had to be honest, and it was going to cost us a sale. Because we did what we did, we didn't make a sale that day, but we have a door open for life at a top 100 that whether it was open or not didn't matter. What mattered was me and you decided that we were going to keep our integrity and not just live to make one sale to somebody and then beat ourselves on the chest and say that we sold the top 100. And then the top 100 looks at us 6 months into it and goes, what did you get me into? Like, you guys are both smart guys. You know better than this. What did you get me into? So thanks for being on the ride with me, Chris. The dealers today, this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing all over the place. With the exception of a few, I'm hearing the door swings are not what they were this time last year. The door is not swinging. What do I do? So what do you do?
Well, you sit back, you shut off your TV, you put down your phone, and then you just get your brain working. Maybe get something to write on and write with, and then you just start throwing mud at the wall and just seeing what you do, what comes to your mind. Some of the ideas that I previously shared. I'm glad that John is here up in Canada. Okay. John has built a tremendously successful business, and he didn't need me to be on a podcast to hear about a great idea. Trust me. But find something simple, make it unique, believe in it, and push it. Okay. Different gear, still speeding. Might not the approach of, well, I've just never done it like that before, or that's just not something that we're used to doing. That's going to hurt your business, adhering to that philosophy. And just use your brain and just what's going to come out of it. Try it. Try multiple things. Be known for something, not only to the customers that actually do bless you with their presence, but go and get a message and take it actively out to your community. It doesn't cost a lot to do that, and be known for something and be known for something special.
I often ask questions about community involvement, and I get dealers rolling their eyes at me, and I just smack them in a nice way. And I just say, the guys who are not complaining about traffic, the guys who are putting up numbers right now are all guys who have deep tentacles into their communities and have for years. Community strategy, being involved in your community is not instant business. It's not. It's a long-term play. It's you planting your feet in the ground in a community and saying, you know what, I value this community. They support us, and we're going to support them, and we're going to be part of this. We're going to be a significant part of this community. What say you? I see your wheels going.
Yeah, I mean, it's Scott Vaughn, I think, says it beautifully. He says, you are the most important person in your community. And that message needs to spread, of course, with full credit due to Scott. Unfortunately, Scott is one of the very few. I mean, I know you say it, and I know there's others in our business that'll say it, but more of us need to say it. If we believe we are what we can be and what we genuinely are is the most important person in our community, then the rest will follow. And in terms of processes and facilitating a mattress related transaction where you're asking for the referrals, when you're asking for the testimonials, that now you got more messengers delivering that message. So a tremendous, I had a tremendous time at a master class last week. Even though it wasn't the first one I attended, I've attended multiple. There's still something new that I took out of it, and there's a common thread. Scott is continuously reminding us all we are the most important people in our community. We're just going to tell people about it, and we gotta validate that through our actions.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. This was the first one I ever missed, and it broke my heart to miss it. But Scott says something else. It's really, really important. And what he said is really significant for your mindset as a store owner. You are the most important part of that community, because if that community gets a better night's sleep, everybody's better. The firefighters are better. The policemen are better. The teachers are better. Everybody's better. And one of the things that he says is when your customer walks through the door, they don't deserve a ho-hum greeting. They deserve a greeting with energy, with purpose, and with thankfulness, because they chose you. Of all the stores that they could have walked into, they chose you. They came into your store, they chose you, and that is incredibly huge. David Grange says, awesome. Connect with the trust bond. Love it. Think outside the covered rectangle. I love that. David Grange also says, generational selling. The customer isn't buying the brand, that they are buying you, the store owners, or RSAs. You are the brand. Yeah. That is so true. And Chris, leave Jeff's comment up. I'll get to it in just a second. That is so true. You are the brand. They are buying you fundamentally. They're not buying a white rectangle or a black rectangle or a gray rectangle. They are buying you. Jeff Janakovo says, regarding community involvement is a long-term play. Just like planned success of any business is meant to be long-term. Short-term view on community involvement equals short-term success for a business. Yeah, that's really, really profound. Becky says sincere excitement. Yeah, really being glad. Think about your aunt or uncle who haven't been over in a month or two, and they pop over and it's a surprise. You're so glad to see them. Come on in. What do you say to them? Can I get you something to drink? Can I get you something to eat? Come on in. Right? That should be the attitude, not necessarily the words, but the attitude. And I've said this 100 times. There are very specific phrases and things that you can say, and it depends if you're in a furniture store or a mattress store, high-end or promotional or medium. All of those inform how you're going to greet, but this is the most important thing. A successful greeting is a feeling, and that feeling is like, hey, I've been to 3 stores and nobody greeted me like this. These people are actually glad I'm here and they're listening to me and they care about what I think. This might be a great place for me to stop having to go from store to store because trust me, everybody, they don't want to go from store to store. Give them a good reason to stop and make you the absolute last store that they visit because you took such good care of them and you cared more deeply than the other stores cared about them. And I think, the greatest compliment I ever got on a testimonial was from Bob Very. He said, I believe that Pete Primeau's middle name is Karen, not Karen as Karen the Karen, but caring. And I can't say my INGs, I say INs. So that was the best compliment I've ever gotten because I do care. And it's not good enough for you to care as a retailer. You have to show the customer that you care in everything that you say and everything that you do. From the moment they use this contraption to find you, till they get to your front door, till they walk in, you have to find a way to make them feel. Thank you, Becky. You're going to make me cry. Becky says, I agree with your middle name, Pete. Thank you. Steve Houck says, good morning, gentlemen. Sorry for joining late, fellas. You two are two of the best. Well, thank you, Steve. And I'm so sorry about your son. We'll have to get on the horn later and chat about that and what that looks like. And fortunately or unfortunately, I'm no stranger to comebacks from injuries as an athlete. And maybe there's some light that could be shed there that would be helpful. So let's.
Other doors are open for your boy, Steve. It's
Yeah.
good to see you here, buddy.
Lots of prayers. Anybody that doesn't know Steve has 29 children. No, minus 11. No, minus 21. He's got 8, right? 8.
Got 8. Yeah.
I'm so busy exaggerating and trying to
unless he's got some news to share.
Settle in on my exaggeration. But Scott Vaughn's masterclass was special, and this was the last one in its current format. So I'm glad that you made it, and
beautiful family.
Chris Stone, I absolutely love you, and yes, there are 8. Steve, you stole the show. Did you slide like $20 to my producer? I want to know what happened here. How did this guy steal my show? So Chris, you more than anyone I think I've ever met, other than Janakovo and Vaughn, with those two, holding those two back. And I'm not saying not, I'm just saying you strike me as a student of the game. And I'll remember our very first phone call. I wasn't too terribly excited to get this phone call from a guy who never sold anything, who was going to, played pretend salesman, and now he's going to be my boss. And I don't know if it was 2 hours later or 3 hours later, dude, I must have told you the same story 10 times in a row. I don't know how the heck you put up with me. But thank you for being a student of the game, and thank you for always caring about everybody and making sure that our dealers win, making sure our manufacturers win as much as they possibly can. In some situations, there are no clear-cut winners, but we always want to do the right thing for our dealers and consequently the right thing for the retail customer. So thanks for always being there. Now, this comes to the part of the show where I ask you the question, Chris, is there a question that I should have asked you, but I didn't? Because we only have 10 minutes left.
Well, we're gonna cram a lot in right now. Okay, there's a quick I want to append to something you were just talking about, and I got not one but 2 questions.
All right.
But let's just kind of role play this out a little bit. I know role play is not really a term that our industry likes. We could do like a skills practice. And this is a challenge to anybody in a supervisory role or an ownership role. If you were to go to your, matter of fact, Pete just asked me, what do you do for a living?
What do you do for a living?
I sell beds. Ask me that question again.
What do you do for a living?
I make the road safer so your kids don't have to worry about being harmed on their way to school or on the way to baseball practice or any of that sort.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. It's going to maintain a conversation. Now, if I just unenthusiastically say I sell beds, oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't need a mattress right now. So what else are we going to talk about? Okay. As opposed to being the most important person in our community. And I regularly say this all the time. I help make our roads safer. I help tradesmen do their jobs more safely than they do. Well, what do you mean? What exactly do you do? Well, I help people sleep better. And how are you sleeping these days? I might actually have a couple of tips as a certified sleep science coach. These are just, in general, just the point I'm making is, what are we saying in that capacity? If we're selling, yes, we're selling mattresses, I suppose. But when we're asked, how are we answering that question? And I can assure everybody listening here that if your answer is, oh, I sell mattresses, or I sell beds, or I work in a mattress store, or I work in a furniture store, you're not going to get as good a reactions as you possibly could have gotten otherwise if you brought that enthusiasm that you were referring to, Pete, outside those four walls. We always talk about the four walls. You can control what goes on in your four walls, but you also have a lot of influence and control over what goes on outside of those four walls too, to make your entire community your store. Now, back to the two questions. The first question that I wish you would ask, but didn't, was who else would I like to? It's almost like the ALS challenge, the ice bucket challenge that was going on several years ago. So I'm going to kind of do my play on that. And in terms of future guests, they're all great. Everybody you ever have on, I always take something away. I would like to see Andrew Burt, Jordan Beck, or both. I think that if we're talking about our heart and soul in this industry, those are a couple of gentlemen that I think would be fantastic guests, and I would love to hear what they have to say. Another guest, because you had Greg Law on your show a few months ago. There is a gentleman on this team named Jimmy Hurtado, who is a very inspirational fellow. He's got a great story.
Love Jimmy.
Jimmy, we all love Jimmy. And I think that, not putting him on the spot, but if he would be so inclined, and if you were so inclined to have him as a guest, I would love to have him share his story with us. And then that kind of is my segue into question number 2. And that is, in fact, I've written it down here. What can we do to instill more servant leadership at the grassroots RSA level? And one of the things that I'm doing, just to kind of let the cat out of the bag, some know, but because of some of the aforementioned points, I think that there is a difference between celebrating a sale because it was a $15,000 ticket at a 54 margin, and you were able to get full pop on pillows and sheets and protectors, all the, celebrating a sale of that magnitude. Don't get me wrong. It's what puts food on their table. It keeps our kids well fed. But what about the transaction that you conducted where without a shadow of a doubt, because your client shared real life situations with you, that you played a direct role in changing their life for the better? And I'm currently in the process of compiling anybody that would like to share in our business, anybody that's watching. I've got several stories that have been submitted. I've asked others for some. Some have enthusiastic right away submitted them. Some I'm still trying to nudge. A point, not even a page. A page would do. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about punctuation. Don't worry about word selection. I'll refine it. And I'd like to put together a collection of stories that our industry can share as inspiration for anybody in the profession, which is helping change lives for the better, as opposed to I'm selling beds or I'm selling mattresses. With that, I'd like to thank Jimmy because he's one of the ones that enthusiastically has already participated. I'd like to thank RJ Williams. I'd like to thank David Doyle. I'd like to thank Dale Backus. Thank you for your service, Dale. And if anybody's got Andrew Carrington, another one with a great story. If you've got a story that you're most proud of, that you would like to share, please send it my way, and let's get you recognized for it.
Awesome. What are you going to do with this?
I'm gonna bind it together and put together an e-resource, and it's going to be available to anybody that believes it could have a positive effect on their business. If they're salespeople that just don't quite understand what type of role they have to play, or if they're recruiting, if they're trying to go after young talents, and a great way to attract young talent sometimes is, you know what, if you're afraid of sales, okay, yes, there is a sales element to this job, but really, if you're helping to change lives for the better, and you're sincere about that, and your heart is committed to helping people, you will succeed in this business. I know he's very popular and prominent. I know that Scott is he mentored Scott. I think it goes, I will get what I want when I help people get what they want. Basically the same thing. And it's not necessarily all about, hey, yeah, high five. I just sold a $15,000 ticket and I got full pop on all this and I was at XYZ margin. Okay. Did you save a life? Did you change a life? Were you the one that, because of what you did, saved a 12-car pileup on the interstate?
Yeah. I'll send you a few things later today if I can find it. Chris, did you say you had a coupon code for Spencer Institute? Looking to sign up the whole team. Jeff Janakovo.
I will absolutely do the best I can to make that happen. If you haven't already, Jeff, go to their website. Sometimes they have codes right in the banner. But they've always been kind to me. Anytime I've recertified, if I've looked at additional certifications, they're a fantastic educational institution. And I'm sure that I could probably get a referral code, or at least I'll ask. If you don't ask, you'll never know. And I'll be happy to do that. And I think that if they knew what it was for, I think that they'd be pretty happy about it. So I owe you a follow-up call, my friend. And thank you for your consideration on doing that, because it absolutely will make a difference.
SpencerInstitute.com. It's right there on the video. So those of you who are watching, who are listening on the audio, clue in on the YouTube video as well, and you will see it, SpencerInstitute.com. So I've got like a half an hour of stuff that I want to talk to you about, and we're out of time. So Chris, first and foremost, thank you for taking the time out of an already too busy schedule. Here is Krista Price.
Hi, Krista.
I love you, Krista. We met her at Masterclass. Best hour. Thanks, Chris and Pete. No, thank you, Krista, for being here. Kristen Sugar says, thanks, Pete and Chris. The sharing of ideas was great. Thought-provoking session. And Jeff Janakovo says, thank you. We love you too.
Likewise, Krista.
Krista Price says, love you guys. We love you as well. The one thing about Masterclass I always found is that there are like-minded people there who have invested their hard-earned money to be there at a paid event. And thank you, Dustin Tate.
Hey, Dustin.
Loved this episode. So Chris, thank you for being here, brother. Thank you for being a student of the game. And I got to tell you something. This is the most comments we've ever had on a show. We've had 11 separate people making multiple comments. It's because of you, But here is, and David, thank you for being here. And you're always around, David. I love the fact that you are a student as well.
Thanks, David.
Kristen Sugar, here's a shout out to you. Thank you for recognizing one of the great talents in the industry. Thank you for bringing him on board. And I am sure that he's going to learn a lot from you. And you guys are Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier in the same training camp. So I can't wait to see what you guys do. It's amazing. And I cannot wait to talk to you guys maybe together, maybe in a quarter or two, and see what you guys are up to together and what you and your creative energy create is going to be very exciting. So Chris, thank you for being here. Anybody who doesn't know who Chris is, what have you been hiding under a rock? If you want to get a hold of him, here's how you do it. Chris@Cariloha.com. Very simple. Also, Chris Taheny I am begging Chris to document everything he does and to write a book on LinkedIn, because he uses LinkedIn better than anybody in our industry. So Chris Taheny on LinkedIn, reach out to Chris. Any other way they should get a hold of you, Chris?
I'm on Facebook Messenger. That's another great way. I'm not a hard guy to find, and any help I can give to anybody, irrespective if they're my customer or not, I'm always there for you. And Pete, thank a couple people I want to thank really quick. Thank you to my new teammates at Cariloha. They've afforded me the time to be with you today. Thank you very much for illuminating our story and the service that we intend on providing. And the future is very bright as a result of everything, all the great work that my teammates have done over the years. And last but not least, Pete, the only reason why I am where I am is because you've been an example to follow. And thank you very much for providing that example each and every day. And I know I'm not the only one saying that.
That's overly kind and overly generous, and I appreciate that. But it's been your drive. It's been your ambition, your passion, your energy that has propelled you to where you are. And if I've been a small part of that, it's been my pleasure, my friend. Everybody, go forward and sell 1 million this week. Thank you.